It doesn't get more pathetic than The View. The ladies just can't help themselves when it comes to attacking anyone associated with Trump. And this time, Joy Behar took the lead in going after his White House press secretary in a weird and some might say objectifying way. On top of that, Whoopi went on a meltdown of her own and tried to paint herself as some sort of a feminist leader. So today we're breaking down the ridiculous takes, the reactions that followed, and most importantly, proving exactly why they're wrong. As always, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos just like this.
She's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
Whatever I'm saying, this is the first time that she's been the...
To be honest, Karoline is not just a 10. She's smart, well-articulated, and knows how to communicate effectively, which puts her miles ahead of the shadow and sexist metric Joy is fixated on. Maybe it's time to get some perspective, plus a study confirmed conservative women are actually more attractive and happier than their lefty peers. In 2023, Danish scientists provided AI with, quote, about 3,200 publicly submitted photos of political candidates who ran in the 2017 Danish municipal election. They concluded that, quote, for females, high attractiveness scores were found among those with the model identified as likely to be conservative, adding, these results are credible given that previous research using human raters has also highlighted a link between attractiveness and conservatism. So Grandma Joy can throw around all the sexist jabs she wants just because Karoline doesn't fit her political mold, but it's clear who has science on their side. The fine folks at The Five also gave their 2 cents on Joy's comments, and they did not hold back.
Isn't it rich that The View is saying she got the job based on looks when DEI is all about based on looks?
She'll be great. She's young, but she's wise beyond her years, and she has access to the president, which is something someone didn't have, and that would be the person in the last 4 years until towards the end when they would let her have access. And also, Karine Jean-Pierre would say that Joe Biden was running circles behind the scenes at the White House. That absolutely wasn't true. And if you want to trace directly how all of the Democrats lost, you can go right back to the biggest lie was that one, and they perpetuated it from there. It reminds me of when Mark Cuban said that the president doesn't surround himself by anybody smart. And Joy Behar and those guys, of course this was going to happen. This is why conservative women just have to move on, do their thing, and not worry about the criticism from folks like at The View.
That's former White House Press Secretary Dana Perino, who worked under the Bush administration for around a year and a half, and she's spot on. The way the left talks about women these days really makes you wonder if they actually respect them at all. They claim to champion women's rights, but their rhetoric and actions suggest the complete opposite. And to Dana's point about KJP, I couldn't agree more. At least we finally got a press secretary who isn't just spewing propaganda. In the short time she's been on the job, she's already proving to be a massive improvement. Instead of dodging questions, reading from a pre-written script, or flat out gaslighting the public, she's actually engaging with the press and giving real answers. Jesse and Gutfeld were having a field day with Joy's comments, and it is hilarious to say the least.
Jesse, conservative women shouldn't care.
I don't speak for women. I tried that. That did not go well. But blonde women overrepresented behind the White House podium, and it's time to bring back the brunettes. That's what people are saying, not me. If someone had told me that I only got this job because I was a 10, I would have said thank you.
Exactly.
Well,
is she really a 10? We'll be right back. No,
I noticed Jesse was a 7.
Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a sexist rating system, but it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
Well said.
At this point, The View might as well replace Joy with an empty chair. It would probably contribute more to the conversation and would save them $7 million a year. She's 82, still trying to be funny, and her takes are so out of touch that even the most diehard viewers must be cringing. I've noticed, by the way, you haven't liked the video or subscribed to the channel yet, so what are you waiting for? Now, Joy's also very predictable. You see, if she's not making ridiculous generalizations, you can bet she's throwing tantrums over basic facts. There's no shame in retirement. She's had a long run, and maybe it's time to get someone with fresh perspectives, or at least a sense of humor, to take over. In the same segment, Whoopi had a different reason to be mad at Karoline, and watching her meltdown was amazing.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you, because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Mm-hmm. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason, because black people couldn't get into colleges, because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. Yeah. See, this is not black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our asses to make sure that this was a person's world.
I'm sorry, but since when did Whoopi become the feminist movement spokesperson? Did we miss the memo or something? Plus, the way she tried to mix feminism and wokeness tells you everything that you need to know about her political takes. In fact, you can make the argument that the woke ideology sent a lot of the achievements of the feminists 10 years back. Instead of empowering women, the modern woke mob is more focused on erasing them and labeling anyone who questions them as a bigot. Real feminists are the ones who actually care about women's issues and deserve so much better than the nonsense that has been pushed onto our society for the past decade. Now it's time to prove why all of these claims are fake with just a single clip from one of Karoline's press briefings.
Submissions from individuals across the country interested in participating in our new media seat at a future briefing continue to flood in. We are at more than 12,000 and counting. If you're watching right now and are interested, you can continue to apply on our new media website, whitehouse.gov/newmedia. And in the seat today, we have a longtime national television broadcaster. I'm sure many of you recognized her when she came in, Sage Steele, who is now the host of an incredibly successful podcast, The Sage Steele Show, on YouTube and all podcast platforms. And previously, Sage was a fixture at ESPN from 2007 to 2023, primarily hosting SportsCenter, which we all know well. Before leaving the company to exercise her First Amendment rights more freely, we are honored to welcome her to the briefing room today. She will be joining the president at the big EO signing later this afternoon. I know many of you will be there as well. So Sage, why don't you kick us off on this very exciting day for women and girls across the country. Thank you for joining us.
It is exciting, and Karoline, thank you for welcoming people like me with a little bit of a different perspective, different background in this seat. It really does mean a lot. Thank you.
You see, my friends, that is what real female empowerment actually looks like. Lifting each other up, not just throwing out sexist jabs or trying to tear someone down just because they think differently than you. But let's be honest, The View isn't exactly known for celebrating strong, independent women unless they toe the leftist line. The full segment wasn't even just about Karoline, it was about the new media getting press passes, and surprise, surprise, they weren't happy about it. They mocked the idea of everyday Americans having a real opportunity to ask important questions, as if the press should be the only ones reserved to their elite, hand-picked journalists, but that's a topic for another day. I'd love to know your thoughts here, so let's get the conversation rolling in the comments down below. And if you want your friends to get their news from an independent source like us, please share the video with them. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.